Chapter 1: The Seeds of Destiny. In the humble village of Glimmerdale, nestled between the rolling hills and whispering forests, there lived a young boy named Jack with his widowed mother. Their cottage, a quaint structure of stone and thatch, sat on the outskirts of the village where the fields kissed the edge of the wild woods. Times were hard in Glimmerdale, and Jack and his mother struggled to make ends meet. Their cow, Bessie, once the provider of milk and cheese, had grown old and no longer gave the bounty she once did. One morning, as the sun painted the sky with hues of orange and pink, Jack's mother called him to her side. With a heavy heart, she told him that Bessie must be sold at the market so they could buy food and perhaps a few seeds to plant for the coming season. Jack, understanding the gravity of their situation, nodded solemnly, took hold of Bessie's rope, and set off towards the market. The journey was long, and Jack's mind was awhirl with worry. How much would Bessie fetch? Would it be enough to sustain them? Lost in thought, he didn't notice the strange old man on the path until he was nearly upon him. The man's eyes twinkled with a mysterious light, and his smile was both comforting and unsettling. "Where are you off to with this fine cow, young man?" the old man inquired, his voice as smooth as silk. "To market, sir," Jack replied. "We need to sell her for food and seeds." The old man stroked his beard thoughtfully, then reached into the depths of his cloak and produced a handful of shimmering golden beans. "Sell her to me, and I'll give you these magic beans," he offered, his eyes locked on Jack's. Jack hesitated. Magic beans? It sounded like a fool's bargain. Yet, there was something compelling about the old man and the way the beans seemed to pulse with an inner light. Against his better judgment, Jack agreed, trading Bessie for the beans, and hurried home, a mix of excitement and dread churning in his belly. Upon his return, Jack's mother was furious at the sight of the beans. In her anger, she tossed them out the window, where they disappeared into the dark soil of their tiny garden. That night, Jack went to bed with a heavy heart, fearing he had doomed them both with his foolishness. But as the first light of dawn crept over the horizon, something miraculous happened. Where the beans had been carelessly thrown, a colossal beanstalk had begun to grow, reaching up towards the heavens, its top disappearing into the clouds. The seeds of destiny had been planted, and Jack's adventure was about to begin. Chapter 2: A Skyward Adventure. As the morning sun peeked through the curtains of his small room, Jack's eyes fluttered open to a world transformed. The beanstalk, with its thick, twisting vines and broad leaves, seemed to beckon him with the promise of adventure. His mother, too, had witnessed the miraculous growth and stood in the garden, her anger replaced by awe. "Jack," she said, her voice a mix of fear and wonder, "this is no ordinary plant. It must be the magic the old man spoke of." Jack could only nod, his gaze fixed on the towering beanstalk that pierced the sky. With a determined breath, he made a decision that would change their lives forever. "I must see where it leads," he declared, his heart pounding with a mix of excitement and trepidation. His mother's eyes widened with worry. "It could be dangerous," she cautioned, but there was a hint of understanding in her tone. She knew their desperate circumstances left them with little choice. With a quick embrace, Jack assured her he would be careful, and without further ado, he began to climb. The beanstalk was sturdier than it appeared, and it swayed gently with his weight, as if alive and guiding him upward. Up and up he climbed, through the blanket of clouds that had always seemed so distant from the ground. Finally, Jack emerged above the clouds, and what he saw took his breath away. A land unlike any he had ever imagined stretched out before him, a realm of giants. Enormous castles dotted the landscape, with vast fields and forests that made the trees of Glimmerdale look like mere saplings. Jack's curiosity propelled him forward, and he found himself standing before a colossal castle, its gates as tall as the beanstalk itself. The air was filled with the sound of booming voices, and the earth trembled with the footsteps of the giants who resided there. Steeling his nerves, Jack approached the massive doors and, with a deep breath, slipped through a crack into the world of the giants. Inside, the castle was a marvel of grandeur and excess. Tables were laden with food that could feed Jack and his mother for a lifetime, and treasures sparkled from every corner. It was then that Jack heard the heavy footsteps of an approaching giant. He quickly hid behind a large ornate urn, his heart racing. The giant, a formidable creature with a thick beard and eyes as sharp as an eagle's, entered the room. He sniffed the air suspiciously, his deep voice rumbling like thunder. Fee-fi-fo-fum, I smelled the blood of an Englishman. Jack held his breath, praying he would remain undiscovered. As the giant moved closer, Jack realized that this was only the beginning of his skyward adventure, and that the true test of his courage and wits was yet to come. Jack's heart pounded like a drum in his chest as the giant lumbered closer, each step shaking the ground beneath him. He knew he had to act swiftly. With the giant's back turned, Jack seized his chance, darting out from his hiding place and towards a table strewn with golden coins and a hen that laid eggs of pure gold. He scooped up the hen and a handful of coins, then made a dash for the door. The giant, sensing the theft, roared in anger and gave chase. Jack ran as fast as his legs could carry him, the hen tucked under his arm, the coins jingling in his pocket. He reached the beanstalk and without hesitation began his descent, the giant's furious bellows echoing behind him. Down, down, down Jack climbed, the ground rushing up to meet him. As he neared the bottom, he called out to his mother, "Fetch an axe, quick as you can." His mother, seeing the urgency in his eyes, did as she was told. Jack hit the ground and took the axe from her hands, swinging it at the base of the beanstalk with all his might. With a great creaking and groaning, the beanstalk shuddered, and then, with a tremendous crash, it fell, taking the bellowing giant with it. The earth trembled upon its impact, and then all was silent. Jack and his mother embraced, the hen and the golden coins now their salvation. With the hen's golden eggs, they would never want for anything again. The village of Glimmerdale would speak of Jack's bravery for generations to come, and the boy who had once faced destitution was now hailed as a hero. Jack's courage and quick thinking had not only saved his mother and himself, but had also brought prosperity to all those around him. The tale of Jack and the Beanstalk would live on, a story of adventure, danger, and the triumph of an unlikely hero.